relatively recent. Hey, bad language.
Welcome. Don't forget to subscribe.
Okay, this is more of an experiment than anything. I'm using the dual cam system on Filmic Pro. We have the selfie camera and the normal camera on at the same time. So you can kind of address the world whilst they can see what you're doing. Fantastic view of the park down there. As you can see, we're using my key to press the buttons on the lift. I don't know whether that's helpful, but that's what everyone's been doing, so I just do what everybody else does. So basically, if you watched my video a few days ago, we all pretty much agree, me and my colleagues, that things are slowly getting back to normal. Compared with how it was even a few weeks ago, it's incredibly busy. This apartment complex has a little convenience store. Usually, and I'll show you as I go round, if I wanted to go to the convenience store, I'd just go over there. And tell you what, let's take a trip over there, since we're here. Just beyond this gate are convenience stores, beer stores, hot pot restaurants, a pharmacy. So just out here, you can see this red banner's been here ever since pretty much this thing got started. And so we can only leave out of one gate. It was so they could check our temperatures and they could keep track of everybody. And back when we could only leave for a short amount of time, it was important to keep track of us. And now all we have are these little cards which show that we live here. That's all we need now. They don't check our temperature anymore. They just want to know, keep track of who's in and who's not. Otherwise, we come here, you can still get takeaway food here. So you just come and he says, "Nan men, nan men," and you go, "Nan men, nan men." Oh, then you come down and you get your food. It was a little bit scary when this stuff first started. Going down to the gate, expecting to be able to go and get some things from the shop, finding that the gate's shut, it's full of signs, not being able to translate them properly. It was a very, and look who it is. Bit of this, bit of that, mix and match, give it a wash.
You've got to mix and match. Gets a bit sway, gets a bit smelly. You've got to give it a wash. Alright, Wayne, it's Rio.
Hello Tony, how are you?
Very well, thank you, very well. Just off to the south gate to collect my healthy dinner because hashtag get lean, get ripped.
Okay, let me join you because I'm actually showing them what happens.
Yeah.
What happens when we go get food.
Okay, cool.
And the whole situation with the gates.
Yeah, lovely.
And usually when we order a takeaway, they come straight up to our apartment.
Right, so if you look at this application here, he is here apparently.
Oh, okay, so he's at the door. Maybe I just saw him.
Maybe so.
How did you find using the takeaway app at the beginning? We're pretty much reliant at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, remember I was in China. This is my second actual time living in China.
Yeah.
First time I was introduced to it, no, immediately, so convenient. It narrows it down. There's so many filters, which allow you to find what you want. And of course, I love change. I love trying new things, and everything's different in terms of the level of spiciness, the ingredients, everything. So, yeah, no, it's super convenient.
Yeah.
I will learn to cook one day, but relying on this right now is perfect, honestly.
Yeah, I can cook, but I don't ever feel like doing it in that tiny kitchen, you know what I mean? But I should, because it would definitely save us money.
Absolutely.
I'd like to do some kind of experiment to see how much money would
He's
would
calling
save.
me now.
Yep. So given the old Wei Ni Hao, go on.
Wei ni hao. Was I jelly?
Fantastic.
So I just told him I'm here. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So what have you got?
So I've got some chicken, brown rice, broccoli, eggs.
That is pretty good actually.
Yeah, it's
that's,
good.
that's not too bad.
20 kwai for this meal, and it's brilliant. You feel really good. You don't feel bloated.
What about the choice on that app though? Because it's just, it's really good. I was not expecting it to be that good.
No, absolutely.
Maybe in the big cities I was expecting it, but not in Wuhu. But they, pretty much everything you'd want.
But I think what we have to remember is there's so many restaurants in every city, right? And you're looking at 99% of these restaurants will be available on this app because that's one of their main ways of making money, actually, takeaway.
Yep.
So
I reckon the restaurants have done all right in all this, to be honest.
Absolutely, because although many were closed initially, now that things are easing back up, they're all opening again. And, I mean, takeaways, back home in England, anywhere in the world, takeaway's a huge thing now, isn't it? It's not. Although people like to go out, it's convenience, isn't it? You look at online shopping, how that's massively increased in the past 10 years. Takeaway's the same, exactly the same, especially with your applications now. Meituan in China, but of course Uber Eats, Deliveroo back home.
Yeah, and that's relatively recent. Hey, bad language.
Very bad.
No.
Wow.
Where do they learn that?
Where did Whoa. Okay.
What?
Let's keep this footage raw.
Yeah.
Let's not go raw.
I might bleep it out.
Yes. I think you should.
That's awful.
That is awful. You should not be saying that.
One of my students said that. I told you, didn't
You
I?
were saying yes.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, I'll leave you to your dinner.
Yes, okay.
And I'll speak to you soon.
Yes, okay. Thank you, sir.
Enjoy, see ya.
See ya.
I think it's difficult for some people to accept that things are getting back to normal here. Probably because it's so manic back home, back in Europe, but in the West, that it's hard to believe that it's all kind of gotten better fairly quickly, relatively quickly. Obviously, people are still being cautious. Obviously, I'm still wearing my mask. Everyone's pretty much still wearing their masks. Still maintaining, I don't know, healthy distance. Well, nobody's being crazy. I haven't really seen any big crowds or anything like that. So I think there's probably still some voluntary social distancing. You can still go into restaurants and you can still go into bars, but I found that they're not that busy. Having said that, when I was in the city centre the other day, it seemed as busy as usual, outside anyway. And the malls seemed fairly busy. So it's kind of amazing, really. Some people question about, because we're very much in the dark in all of this. It doesn't seem like there's many people who know actually what's going on. So the best we can do is just kind of like look out our windows and see, look, people doing peoply things. People happy, people going about their lives, I think generally speaking anyway, I've found that Chinese people are very much keep calm and carry on. Now, I'll caveat that by saying that I'm not in tune with Chinese social media. Social media seems to be where all the anger comes out, all the extreme opinions, all the conspiracy theories, and I'm not exposed to that. My Chinese isn't good enough to really understand what's going on Chinese social media yet. I'm stuck in the Western social media bubble because I'm on Facebook every day, I'm on Twitter every day, so I may as well be at home for all it is. Difference being I can actually go out and do stuff now. I'd like to reiterate what James said in my previous video about just staying calm and not going too crazy, because the hysteria doesn't help things. We never had anything like supermarkets being raided for toilet roll and stuff like that. I never experienced anything like that. It was very much a case of, okay, let's be careful. For the most part, I've had a very good experience with Chinese people throughout this whole thing. So here's the convenience store. It's in this like little mini building here. So it's so busy. Ni hao, hello.
Hello.
Oh, what is it? Pepsi.
Color.
Color.
Yeah.
Oh, it's for me.
哎，我的多少？
You don't want this?
这个也给你，
Need a color.
两个都给你了。
你们不要吗? Oh, how? Those lads literally just gave me their Pepsis. That's nice. I shall forgive them for saying a rude word now. Okay, here's the store. Ni hao.
你好，
There we go. I'll quickly show you the North Gate as well. Here used to be a registration station where you had to write down your phone number and your address and all that stuff and note down when you're coming in, when you're going out, and what for. And in that tent there is where the temperature check used to be. And all you need to do now is flash your card and you're allowed in. You just need to show that you live here. So still sort of keeping track of everybody. I know in some cities they had an app system. So they made everybody in certain apartment complexes download an app, and you had to declare your health status, where you're going and all this. They could from that make a database and see who's been in contact with whom and their level of sickness, which is very high tech, but we never had anything like that. Our apartment complex is very peaceful. We'll have the kids out there playing badminton, playing games, just hanging out, playing football. Working from home at the moment. We are doing online classes it's not too bad. The software takes a bit of getting used to. It's very buggy, but I have to say, hats off to First Leap headquarters. First Leap is the company I work for, the education company, for churning out the online content so quickly. Because as far as I'm aware, the content we're doing is all offline, usually, and so they had to convert all that into classes that would actually work online, which is a very difficult thing when you got classes about music, for example, and we have realia and we have instruments. I've got a class this weekend which requires drums and other things, shakers and drums, and translating that to online, it's not obvious how you do that, especially when the software is kind of limited. There's very few clickable things. You can load in media, but it's not as dynamic as you can get offline, you know, and you don't get quite the same kids interaction. So considering that we're in a kind of crisis, I think the company's done really well, that we've actually managed to produce something for the parents' money, that we can actually offer them a service in this testing time, you know, and give the kids something to do. I've heard that kids discover that staying home for days on end is not what it's cracked up to be, and going a bit crazy like the rest of us. You know what, I think just in terms of myself, I haven't been too bad. I'm an introvert anyway, so that part doesn't bother me necessarily, but even introverts need some kind of social interaction. They just need less of it. We were allowed to go see each other. Me, Tony and James, we live in the same apartment complex. So every other day, every few days, we'd go up or down and visit each other, play some games, have a beer or two, and you know, it was all right. It was all right. Although I am incredibly grateful that we're allowed to go out again. And I have to say, going to Jershan Park the other day was one of the best days I've had in ages. I don't know, it's just very carefree and being in the moment. There's nothing like being deprived of something to begin to appreciate that thing. My final message for people at home is try and turn it into a positive. It might be an opportunity for you to reflect, to take stock of things, and you will come out of this stronger. And with that, please drop a like and subscribe and comments, because that helps with the algorithm. So thanks very much. I'm looking to upload quite often. So keep that going, give me the encouragement, and I'll hopefully bring you some value. Okay, so I'll see you. Cheers.